The COVID-19 pandemic has impacted us all in a way that is unparalleled in history, in recent human history. Our nations have suffered, precious lives are lost, and economies are devastated. At times like these, we realize and appreciate the value of solidarity. The OIC and its member states have come to Afghanistan's assistance during the pandemic, offering humanitarian aid and keeping trade and transit routes open to stabilize markets. We are very grateful for this help and solidarity. As we tackle the second wave of the pandemic, we hope that the OIC and its member states will continue their generous support towards our collective efforts in fighting the pandemic across the world. Mr. Chairman, having suffered conflict and instability for 4 decades, tragically, the Afghan people today continue to experience violence at the hands of our terrorist enemies on a daily basis. In recent months, attacks on civilians have increased, both in frequency and in the savagery of violence. In Kabul alone, we have witnessed levels of depravity in attacks on civilian targets that is totally unprecedented. From a killing spree in a maternity hospital to a suicide bomb inside a classroom full of young students in a private education facility to a large-scale attack on Kabul University. Targeted assassination of our moderate ulama, human rights activists, and journalists have added to the frenzy of violence. However, in the midst of all of this suffering, a unique opportunity to end the war and bring peace in Afghanistan is emerging. On 12 September this year, a formal process of direct peace negotiation involving formally appointed negotiation teams from the Afghan government and the Taliban movement began in Doha. This major step was brought about by tireless efforts of many countries, including several members of the OIC, for which we are grateful. We are especially grateful to the United States, Pakistan, Qatar, Germany, Uzbekistan, Indonesia, Iran, India, Russia, China, UAE, KSA, and the European Union. Major concessions from the Afghan government, such as release of over 6,000 prisoners, also served as a significant confidence-building measure in this process. Today, on this important occasion, I'd like to request the OIC and our major Muslim partners to continue and step up their support for Afghanistan's quest for peace. The OIC has already supported Afghanistan peace in significant ways. The 2018 International Ulama Conference in Makkah al-Mukarramah in support of peace and in opposition to imposed war in Afghanistan was a major step for which we Afghans are immensely grateful. At this critical stage of our peace process, we would like to request a continuation of the engagement of the ulama across OIC member states in the condemnation of unjustified violence in Afghanistan. We call on the OIC and its member states that have influence in Afghan peace process to continue to urge Taliban to pursue peace and an end to the conflict with greater urgency and sincerity.
Conclusion. Allez-y, concluez.
Your Excellency, as I understand that you would like me to conclude, in my concluding remarks, Excellency, I will have to highlight that the world community and our Muslim Ummah are faced by a menace of terrorism that is a common enemy of all of us. The most significant way to counter this terrorism is to bring peace to Afghanistan and to counter foreign fighters finding safe haven in that region. For this, OIC has a major role to play, and we urge you all to join hands and support the Afghanistan peace process, and to encourage ulama across the OIC member state in condemnation of the violence in Afghanistan and in support of the peace process. I thank you for your attention, Excellency.
Je vous remercie.